Story 1. It's 2001. I'm 13 and I'm home alone. My family lived in a 100-plus-year-old, 1880s or 1890s. The three front rooms in the house are all interconnected by large pocket doors, and the ceilings are 10 feet high. Floor-to-ceiling windows and dark cherry wood, which makes everything much darker than normal. I'm at the computer in the living room, my back to the pocket doors. The lights are off in the two other rooms at the front of the house. Only the light in the living room and a small light over the sink in the kitchen are on. My dog is sitting on the floor at my side. His name is Gryffindor, but we called him Griffin, so I'm chatting away on AIM. The TV wasn't on or anything. I was too focused on the conversation I was having. Then I hear very distinctly from behind me, "Griffin!" I freeze, and Griffin stirs next to me. The voice sounded like a child's, and the dog absolutely responded to it. He wasn't laying down anymore. He was sitting up on his haunches, looking up at me. Maybe he thought I called him? He didn't seem alarmed, just attentive. I refused to turn around and type ferociously to my friends about what had just happened. They didn't really believe me, but promised to talk until my parents came back. I stayed staring at that computer screen for half an hour until my dad walked through the front door. I always kept all of the lights on after that, and I've never heard anything like it again. Remember, I was only 13, I didn't drink or do drugs, the TV wasn't on, no music was playing, it wasn't super late at night, so I didn't fall asleep and dream it. I just don't know what I experienced that night. Story 2, wasn't fully alone, but when I was about 13 or 14, I was at home watching my 4-year-old niece. We lived out in the country and had very few neighbors, and never had any unexpected visitors. It was about 1 or 2 in the afternoon on a hot summer day when all of a sudden our front doorbell rang. Since we were all alone, I decided not to answer or look to see who it was, but instead go to my room where I could see the driveway outside of my window. When I looked outside, there were no cars in the driveway and nobody I could see walking around outside. I decided to lock ourselves in my room and just continue to watch out the window. A few minutes pass and I think I hear something inside the house, but I tried to convince myself that it was just my imagination. Shortly after, I heard a cabinet door close, which prompted my dog that was inside the room with us to bark, which made me realize it was not just my imagination. I decided that the safest option was to crawl through my window, which was surrounded by thorny rose bushes, and walk to my neighbor's house. After getting my niece and dog out of the window, we walked to both of my neighbors' houses, but found nobody at home. We ended up waiting at the end of the road until... Story 3. I'm female, and some houses nearby are also known meth labs. I live in a slightly rural spot. One night, after about midnight, I hear banging on my door. I thought it was my boyfriend attempting a booty call, as he is apt to do. When I got to the door, I could see through the small glass window, but instead of my boyfriend, I saw the side of an unfamiliar bearded face. He didn't see me, and I backed away from the door. My house was in a cellular dead zone, so I knew my cell was useless. I grabbed the landline next to my bed to call 911, but the line was dead. It was just like a horror movie, where the killer cuts the phone line. Meanwhile, the guy was still pounding away and slurring, "Let me in." I grabbed the biggest chef knife I own, which is pretty fucking big, and locked myself in the bathroom. I stood on the edge of the tub, behind the shower curtain, figuring I might have a chance if I jumped on him from above and stabbed him between the neck and shoulder when he tried to bust down the door. I was terrified, but also pleased with my plan, and waited. He started working his way around the outside of the house. I could hear him sliding his hands along the siding and banging his fist against the walls. For a split second, I reveled in my surprisingly badass plan. Then I realized the sabotage phone hadn't been charged in days. Maybe one of the other handsets still worked? I have never felt more fear than the moment I climbed down from my hiding spot. unlocked the bathroom door, and went in search of a second handset, all while a madman was moving around the outside of my house, violently trying to unlock every door and window. I found a phone, and it worked. I dialed 911, but the closest officer was over 15 minutes away. I was told to stay on the line, but lock myself in the bathroom again. That was the longest 15 minutes of my life. When police arrived, they had me identify a cuffed, scruffy, drunk off his ass, dirty hippie kid. Apparently there had been a party down the road. He got disoriented and thought my house was his friend's house. He was trying to get back inside the party for 20 minutes of pure terror. So keep your fucking phones charged, people.